Football has dozens of competitions and even more trophies, but they are not all equal. Some elevate you to legend status forever. Others are valuable stepping stones. And some carry far less prestige than many fans believe. Let's begin with the biggest prize in the entire sport, the FIFA World Cup. The FIFA World Cup stands alone as the ultimate dream for almost every footballer on the planet. Held every 4 years, it brings together the best national teams from all continents in one massive tournament. Winning the World Cup does not just make you a champion for a season. It writes your name into football history. Pelé won it 3 times. Diego Maradona created magic in 1986. Lionel Messi finally completed his legacy in 2022. These players are remembered not only for their talent, but for conquering the hardest stage in the world. The tournament first took place in 1930 in Uruguay. Since then, it has grown into one of the most watched events in human history, with billions tuning in. The pressure, the emotion, the national pride, nothing else in football comes close. For the majority of players, lifting the World Cup remains the highest possible achievement. But if the World Cup is the biggest competition globally, what is the toughest tournament in Europe? Copa America. Copa America is the oldest international continental competition in the world, dating back to 1916. It has produced more than a century of unforgettable football moments. The passion in this tournament is electric. When Argentina faces Brazil, the entire continent stops to watch. The rivalries run deep, the atmosphere is intense, and the football is full of flair. Legends like Pelé, Maradona, and Messi have created some of their most memorable performances here. For South American countries, winning Copa America means joining an exclusive group of champions and earning eternal respect from passionate fans. Football is global, though. Other continents have their own major battles. Africa Cup of Nations, AFCON. The Africa Cup of Nations, or AFCON, is the premier competition in African football. If there is one word that describes this tournament, it is chaos. Beautiful, dramatic chaos. Favorites are knocked out early on a regular basis. Underdogs rise up and become national heroes overnight. Every edition delivers shocking results and emotional stories. Many of Africa's greatest players first announced themselves to the world during AFCON, before going on to conquer Europe. The fans, the celebrations, the colors, and the pure unpredictability make AFCON one of the most entertaining tournaments in international football. CONCACAF Gold Cup. Moving to North and Central America, we have the CONCACAF Gold Cup. This is the most important international competition for nations in this region, including Mexico, the United States, Costa Rica, and Caribbean teams. While it does not receive the same worldwide attention as the World Cup or Euros, it means everything to the countries involved. For emerging nations, it is a chance to challenge the traditional powers and raise the overall level of football in the region. AFC Asian Cup. Asia has the AFC Asian Cup. Over the years, this tournament has grown significantly in strength and competitiveness. Countries that were once seen as underdogs are now capable of producing major upsets. The Asian Cup has played a key role in the rapid development of football across the continent. For many Asian nations, winning this trophy represents the greatest achievement in their football history. There is one more international tournament that often confuses newer fans. Olympic Football Tournament. The Olympic football tournament is quite different from the World Cup. In the men's competition, teams are mostly restricted to players under 23 years old, with only a few over-age exceptions allowed. Because of this age limit, it is generally viewed as a development tournament, rather than the absolute highest level of senior international football. Many future superstars have used the Olympics to introduce themselves to the world. However, winning Olympic gold in men's football does not carry the same prestige as winning the World Cup, the Euros, or even Copa America. Interestingly, the Women's Olympic Football Tournament is contested by senior national teams, and therefore holds much greater importance. Europe has also introduced a newer competition in recent years. UEFA Nations League. The UEFA Nations League was created to replace meaningless friendly matches with competitive games that actually matter. Teams fight for promotion, try to avoid relegation, and compete for another piece of silverware. The tournament is still relatively young, and does not yet match the prestige of the World Cup or Euros. Even so, its importance continues to grow with every edition, and top teams now take it seriously. Now let's move from international football to the club game, the side that millions of fans follow week after week. UEFA Champions League. For club football, there is one competition that stands clearly above the rest, the UEFA Champions League. Every season, the strongest clubs from across Europe battle to become kings of the continent. The famous anthem, the dramatic nights under the lights, the incredible comebacks. These elements have turned the Champions League into the biggest club competition on earth. Winning this trophy can define an entire career. Many great players have won domestic leagues and individual awards, but they are ultimately judged by whether they manage to lift the Champions League trophy. UEFA Europa League. Not every team can reach the Champions League. That is where the UEFA Europa League comes in. It is Europe's second-tier club competition. Clubs that just miss out on Champions League qualification often compete here. Winning the Europa League is still a major achievement. It brings European glory, silverware, and, crucially, qualification for the next season's Champions League. Many big clubs have used this tournament as a stepping stone back to the very top. UEFA Conference League. The newest addition is the UEFA Conference League. This competition was designed to give clubs from smaller European leagues a realistic chance to experience continental football. For many of these teams, winning the Conference League can be the greatest moment in their entire history. While it does not match the prestige of the Champions League, it has already created several memorable underdog stories. UEFA Super Cup. When the Champions League winners face the Europa League winners in a single match, we get the UEFA Super Cup. It is a prestigious curtain raiser, but it is widely seen as the least important of the major UEFA trophies. FIFA Club World Cup. The FIFA Club World Cup attempts to answer a big question. Which club is the best on the entire planet? It brings together the champions from every confederation: Europe, South America, Asia, Africa, and beyond. Winning this tournament proves that your club is not just the best in its own country or continent, but among the very best in the world. Copa Libertadores. South America has its own version of the Champions League, the Copa Libertadores. The atmosphere in this competition is legendary. Stadiums shake, rivalries burn, and every match feels like a final. For South American clubs and fans, winning the Libertadores carries prestige that many compare directly to the Champions League in Europe. It has produced some of the most dramatic stories and passionate nights in football history. Domestic competitions are also incredibly important to fans and players alike. Premier League. The Premier League is widely regarded as one of the most competitive and entertaining leagues in the world. 20 teams battle across a long season where every single point matters. A surprise result can completely shift the title race, European qualification battles, or relegation fights. Its global popularity has made it one of football's biggest exports. FA Cup. England also boasts the oldest cup competition in the world, the FA Cup. What makes it special is that clubs from all levels of English football enter the same tournament. This creates the possibility of giant killings, where tiny teams can knock out Premier League giants. These magical moments keep the FA Cup alive in fans' hearts. Carabao Cup and Community Shield. The Carabao Cup offers a shorter route to silverware and European qualification. Meanwhile, the Community Shield serves as the traditional season opener between the Premier League champions and the FA Cup winners. Other major leagues have their own prestigious domestic trophies: La Liga and Copa del Rey in Spain, Bundesliga and DFB Pokal in Germany, Serie A and Coppa Italia in Italy, Ligue 1 and Coupe de France, and many more. Each carries huge importance for their local supporters. So, returning to the question I asked at the beginning, if you could only win one trophy in your entire career, which one would it be? After covering all these competitions, the honest answer for most players is still the FIFA World Cup. It is the one that defines legacies across generations. However, many club legends would argue strongly for the Champions League because it represents consistent excellence against the best teams in Europe season after season. Some players might even choose their domestic league title, especially if it ends a long drought for their boyhood club. Which one would you choose? The World Cup for national glory, the Champions League for club immortality, or your favorite league title for pure local pride? Let me know in the comments below. Your answers always make for great discussions. At the end of the day, every single trophy in football means something powerful. To players, it can represent years of sacrifice and dedication. To fans, it can mean pure joy and lifelong memories. And together, all these competitions create the rich tapestry that makes football a beautiful game. Trophies do not just create champions, they create legends. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like and subscribe for more football explanations. Which trophy should I explain in deeper detail next? Let me know.